Hey, welcome back to Fan Talk. Today we're going to be doing the 2019 wrap-up, just talking about movies that happened to be out last year and how they did in general. Yep. And then we'll take a quick little look ahead all the way to the year 2020.
2020.
2020 vision.
2020. Yeah. So last year, a good year for movies.
The box office ended up being down about 4%, but we also had the record ever billion-dollar movies.
Yes.
And also Disney had, 34% of the box office for the entire year, which is unheard of for a studio to have that much.
Yeah.
That'll probably never happen. Well, I'm not going to say never. That was all the stars aligned. You had a Star Wars movie, you had a Toy Story, you had a Frozen, you had a couple major Disney live actions.
They did
and
way
Marvel.
better than what people expected. And then Marvel,
Yeah, so all just came together. I don't think that they could plan all those things coming together that well again.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but it's Disney, but
yeah.
Maybe they bought a few more studios. They could. Just looking at the January 3rd last weekend, Star Wars still having a good weekend, 34 million. Worldwide, it's up to 919 million, so it's going to cross the $1 billion mark. However, that's going to be split between 2 years, so it depends on which list you look at. It'll either be a $1 billion movie or not, because for the 2019 or 2020. Jumanji still hitting strong, having some good legs on it like its predecessor. 26 million, it's up to 609 worldwide.
Yep.
Strong. Little Women's doing very well out of the gate, 13 million, third place for the weekend, up to 80 million overall. For a movie that comes out like every 3-4 years, that's pretty good.
That's pretty decent, yeah.
Frozen 2, strong legs, considering this was a November release.
Which is what I expected, though.
But it's at 1.3 billion, and there's some controversy. Disney has announced that it is now the #1 animated movie of all time. Lion King 2019 made 1.7 billion.
Yeah.
They're not considering it animation.
I know. Of course not. It's live action, Simon.
I think it's animated.
I think it's animated, exactly.
And then the so far the only new release of 2020, The Grudge, opened at number 5 to abysmal ratings.
No,
so,
and that's a reboot, basically. You know, and it's the original was great for its time, and I mean the story is fun, but you got to look at these reboots of over and over and over. They think because it was good at one point in time, it's going to keep doing well. It's not that old of a movie. We're talking about the 90s.
Yeah, and this had an F cinema score. That's like rare to see that.
Yeah.
That bad.
Yeah.
So not the best start for the year, but it's about to improve, which we'll look at here in a minute.
Yeah.
2019 top 10 overall for America, or North America actually, except include Canada. Avengers, Lion King, Star Wars, Frozen 2, and also of these, Star Wars and Frozen 2 still have a little bit more to go.
Yeah.
Then number 5, Toy Story 4, Captain Marvel, Spidey, Aladdin, Joker at number 9, and then Jumanji at number 10. The Star Wars and Frozen 2 are within 1 million of each other, and they're still gaining on that. So the difference between them and number 2, Lion King, is pretty far, about 100 million. So that's not going to make that up. But those two could swap when the numbers are finalized.
Yeah.
If you're just looking at the 2019 numbers, I guess those are now Frozen. But, and then worldwide, it's similar but not quite. Avengers with its 2.7 billion. Lion King number 2, Frozen 3, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, Toy Story, Joker climbs up a bit, Aladdin. Star Wars is number 9, but it's, as I said, about to cross the $1 billion threshold and be the 9th $1 billion movie. And then Hobbs and Shaw is number 10. Jumanji doesn't look like it's going to catch up to Hobbs and Shaw, so the biggest rock movie of last year will probably be Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
Cameron has come out recently and said that when he plans on re-releasing Avatar right before Avatar 2 comes out to reclaim the top spot.
Of course he is.
I'm like, can we just let it ride?
Of course he is. I mean, why wouldn't he? I mean, we predicted that when we first started laughing about the whole climb to take its place. So,
what do we got coming out this year?
Well, I mean, this year is going to be a good year for film. Some people aren't as excited as like maybe I would be because with Marvel movies and stuff, it's a lot of stuff that's unproven. But as you've seen with Marvel in the past, folks, a lot of these characters are characters that for the general public, they weren't major characters.
Guardians.
And the Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man. These films did well. I mean, even if you think about it, at the time when Iron Man came out, I mean, Iron Man was obviously a big, IP, but
people are like, is he a robot?
Average people were like, X-Men, Spider-Man, those were the big ones, and those were taken up, Fantastic Four. So it was always a risk, and they've smashed out the park. So, I mean, but we got Bad Boys for Life coming out, a sequel to Bad Boys, Birds of Prey, Sonic the Hedgehog, Onward, a Pixar film, which also they're going to come out with Soul, another Pixar animated
Midsummer,
film. We got Mulan. Maybe we'll get New Mutants this year. They have dropped a new trailer.
I'm still not holding my breath.
I still like, if you don't release the movie, at least send it to me, please. Just I won't give it to anybody. I just want to watch it, or like that movie Fanboys. Just invite me out and let me watch it.
Well, pretend you have cancer.
Yeah. No,
not a cool joke, but
no,
still.
Yeah. You got Wonder Woman 1984 coming out, Mulan, Black Widow, of course, Fast and Furious the 9.
Another Bond movie.
Yeah, another Bond movie, Top Gun Maverick. We're going to have a new Minions, The Rise of Gru. Jungle Cruise.
That's a Rock's new one that's based on a Disney, right?
Disney, right? And then you're going to have the Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, not a reboot. This is an actual sequel. It's supposed to be set in the future.
They go get a colonoscopy?
No, I think it's that they still haven't saved the world and they don't know why.
Whoa.
I think that's the big thing. And Venom 2 and the Eternals. Just to name a few things that are definitely lined up for next year. Okay. These are going to be some of the bigger films that we're going to see, and I'm excited about it.
I think next Christmas we have Godzilla Kong and also Coming to America.
Coming to America 2 or Coming to America. Which another sequel film with Eddie Murphy, which will be nice to see him kind of
I'm looking forward to that.
Coming out of retirement, doing a film that was...
Murphy Assance.
And of course the original was great.
Oh, yeah.
But that being said, just to touch on something that you talked about, I look at next year's movies and I do not see it, the box office topping, people going and seeing movies.
There's not huge tentpoles like it was this year.
I don't see it beating this year. And so I'm thinking we're going to keep looking at this gradual less and less people are going to see movies. I mean, I think less and less people are going to the theater, and I don't know if that's because less people are interested. I don't know. There's been a lot of talk. I mean, even old Ricky at the Golden Globes, maybe it's a little bit too many... famous people trying to talk politics instead of just being entertainers. But, I mean, it does seem like less and less people are interested in going to see movies, and more people are staying at home and streaming Netflix.
Well, we shall see. I mean, there's definitely a change in the viewing habits going on, but I think there will always be a spot for box office.
Oh, always. I'm sorry, there's nothing is ever going to beat going and getting some way overpriced popcorn and sitting in a nice comfort seat and watching a movie super loud and super huge with your friends and family. It's just not going to be beat. I love going to the cinema. I love going to the drive-in, both. So, I mean, I think there'll always be a place for that. So.
Yeah, and one I think we missed, but I'm definitely going to be seeing this coming weekend is 1917.
1917.
That's gotten some awesome
I just
reviews.
wanted to see how it's shot, because apparently
it looks like 2 takes.
Yeah, it looks like 2 whole takes. It's like one flowing scene, and that's
I've heard this has to be seen in the big screen, and for anybody that appreciates like the technical aspects of a movie, they're going to be blown away by it. That's why he got Best Director at the Golden Globes. Actually, talking about the Golden Globes for a second, did you end up watching that the other night?
I did. I watched it, and I loved it. I had a blast. Of course, I love the host, Ricky, and the things that he's done, and I love his sense of humor, and I really thought it was great that he admitted, I'm not going to pull any punches, I'm just going to go out and say what I want, and it really baffled me. Literally, we always talk about the new generation, people not being able to laugh, and it's like there was people that were laughing, there's a lot of people that were really offended by him, and I loved it, personally, but it was a good show. It was people don't tune in for those award shows anymore as much as they used to either, because you can just catch the highlights on the internet. Yeah. But I actually had fun watching this one. I haven't watched an award show in a long time. So
one of the award winners was talking about female empowerment and all that, which is great in its own and everything. But I remember joking when watching it that I was like, one of them needs to get there just to really just have some fun and be like, I want to thank my husband and my dad, just to throw some shade on all that, just for fun. And I was like, none of them will do it. Ellen gets up there and wins like her Lifetime Achievement Award, and obviously she's married to Portia. Yeah. And she says, I'd like to thank my husband, and I was like, she did.
She did it. She did it.
I was like, I don't know if she's intentionally throwing shade that way or she's just doing a joke on her relationship, but either way, I was like, okay, cool, that was good.
I freaking love Ellen, and it's like, and I think she's a good. I like Ellen because I've heard a lot of like people have like come out and like, oh, she's not as good as she says she comes across. She's this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I don't care. The fact is, overall, she seems like a good person. And it's like I really like the way she handled the whole Bush thing when everybody was throwing shade at her. She was like, I have lots of friends that believe differently than me. I don't have to believe exactly the same as somebody to be their friend. Just because somebody's a little different, I don't hate them. That's ridiculous. And I was like, way to go. It's as good as it gets. It's like we don't all have to hate each other just because we disagree.
Yeah. Now the winners on the Golden Globes. I mean, there's strong categories. It was a good year for movies last year as far as like acting, everything. So there's really not a whole lot of upsets. I was happy 1917 won because I mean, from everything I heard, it's probably going to deserve it. Once Upon a Time got it for the comedy genre, and also screenplay. Joker got score, got Joaquin Phoenix as best actor. Brad Pitt is supporting from Once Upon a Time. I was like, that's cool, that's good. Laura Dern did good. Taron Egerton from Rocket Man. Missing Link was a surprising one, I thought, for the animated series. Like they just knocked aside like all the Frozen 2, Toy Story 4, all the sequels and big ones, and then Missing Link, which actually lost money at the box office, gets the award. I'm like, what is also the only original one out of all that? Renee Zellweger for her role as Garland. That was good. Awkwafina, actress in comedies. Chernobyl for a limited series, which I've been watching. It's
fantastic.
It's great. Succession, Fleabag also winning. There's some strong winners that night.
And
it'll be a good lineup to see if the Oscars is going to keep going that direction or if they're going to do a 180 on some of these.
But I will say this. I think one of the reasons why I don't watch most of these, the Golden Globes, I really watch for the host. I mean, there's certain like things, and I wanted to see how Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did. I know it's really the one I wanted to know. Are they going to snub him, or are they going to actually give it its just rewards? But a lot of that stuff I don't watch, and it's kind of funny because I was listening to George Lucas, of all people, talk about it, and he was like, why he never went to those shows and things. And he's like, you guys have no idea how many of these we have. He's like, there's the big ones, but there's literally tons of these award shows, and it's literally all of us patting each other on our backs and telling us how good we do, because we have to tell each other, because we're all very sensitive. I thought it was very funny. It's like, we're all very sensitive.
Billy Crystal hosted the Oscars right, I think, during the Great Recession time period, and he's like, nothing that Americans want to see more during times of economic hardship is millionaires giving other millionaires gold statues.
Right.
I was like, that pretty well sums it. So well, that's, I think, what we got for today. Hey, be sure to check out our Fan Talk 10. That's already been released, and we'll have another one coming out here in the coming days. And please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next time.